Hi, 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 guys. Welcome. Hi, guys. Welcome to our live video today. Welcome. Okay, welcome. In today's class, we'll be looking at indices. Okay, we are going to learn the meaning of indices, how to use indices to solve problems. Okay. So if today is your first time of joining, please let us know where you're joining from. We'll first of all understand indices. When we talk about indices, we are talking about a power or a power to which or exponent to which any number can be raised to get a certain number. For instance, if you have a number like a to the power of n, this particular term we have here is in index form. This a that we have is called the base. The base, while the end what we have is called the exponents. Okay? Or we call it the index, or we call it the what? The power. Okay? Okay? So this can be seen as the main meaning of indices. So in indices, we have various laws of indices. Okay, we have the laws of indices. The laws of indices. The laws of indices are the rules or set of rules that guides us in solving problems in its index form. For instance, the first law is said that whenever you have any base x that is raised to a number, a power a, then multiplied by the same base x raised to power b, that the answer is that you keep the base the same. After keeping the base the same, you are going to add the powers. So this is the product law. So far we are multiplying in common base, we just have to add the powers. Okay, so the next one we look at is whenever we are dividing in the same base. So for instance, let's say we have a to the power of x to the power of a being divided by x to the power of b. Okay, our goal here is to divide this from the laws of indices. You see that so far you are dividing, all you need to do is to subtract the powers. So you now do a minus b. Okay, and that's the what needed answer. Please let us know where you're watching from. I'm in Nigeria. Let us know where you're watching from. Okay, thanks for having you guys in my live video. Another one says that whenever you have any number raised to power 0, that the answer is 1. Whenever you raise any number to a 0 power, we have it as 1. Another rule says that, okay, you're a student of biology. Oh, thank you for joining, okay? Mo, thank you for joining. Please like the live, okay? So the next one we look at is when we have x to the power of x raised to power negative power, like negative a. The answer will now be, whenever you raise to a negative power, all you have to do is that this becomes 1 over x to the power of what? A. So these are the few laws of exponents we have. And again, whenever we have something like x raised to power a, then we to power b. The answer here in indices is just that you are going to multiply the powers. That is, you are going to have x to the power of ab. Okay? So, and that's so on. We have lots of it. So now we are going to take simple examples regarding to this. Okay? Okay, the subject we are teaching is maths, and the main topic here is indices. Okay, so the next thing we look at is to take a simple example. Okay, so to take a simple example, let's say we are told to evaluate uh, 8 to the power of 1 over 3 multiplied by 5 to the power of 2 over 3 divided by 10 to the power of 2 over 3. Okay? So for us to simplify this problem is very, very easy. Okay? To evaluate this, first thing you need to know is to look at the 8. The 8 we have here, 8, can be seen as the product of 2 by 2 by 2. That is 2 to the power of what? 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 power 3. So instead of writing 8, we are going to replace 8 with 2 to the power of 3. Okay? So if you replace 8 by 2 to the power of 3, what do we have? We have 2 to the power of 3. Already existing power here is 1 over 3, right? So we are going to put 1 over 3 times 5 2 to the 5 raised to power 2 over 3. So if you have this now, we are going to divide it by 10 to the power of 2 over 3. If you look at this now, we can simply cancel out the what? We cancel out the power since we are actually multiplying. Okay? So if you cancel out, we have it as 2 power 1 times 5 to the power of 2 over 3 divided by 10 to the power of 2 over 3. Okay? So if you have this, you can now see that have reduced it to a certain level. The next thing we have to do is that we can now see, since we have over 1, we can now see that the denominator can be seen as 2 to the power of 1 times 5 to the power of 2 over 3 divided by, we can write 10 to be in form of 2 times 5, then raised to power 2 over 3. Okay? So if we do this, you can now see that we are having 2 power 1 times 5 to the power of 2 over 3 divided by, if you look at this, we are having it to be 2 times 5. So we can distribute the powers. Okay? If we distribute the powers, we have 2 to the power of 2 over 3 times 5 to the power of 2 over 3. Okay? So if you have this, you can now see that 5 to the power of 2 over 3 will cancel out 5 to the power of 2 over 3. What do we have left? We have 2 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of 2 over 3. Okay? So if you have this, you can now see that they are of the same base and they are divided. And you recall the law I told you that when we have a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, that what we always have to do is just to do a to the power of m minus n. So we do 2 to the power of, here is 2 now. This becomes 2 to the power of 1 minus 2 over 3. Okay? And if you do 1 minus 2 over 3 is basically 2 to the power of minus 1 over 3. Okay? So if you have minus 1 over 3, what do you have? Remember, once you have a negative power, we take the reciprocal, and that will be the same thing as 1 over 2 to the power of 1 over 3. And that will be, if you simplify this, what do you have? Since you have 1 over, since you have a negative power, because we are actually subtracting, what do you observe? You observe that we have, 1 minus this is positive, please. It's positive. So we are having it to be 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 1 over 3, which is the cube root of 3. Okay? Please let us know where you're watching from. And that's the what? Answer. Comment your thoughts on the method so that we can actually continue. Okay? Let us know where you're watching from. Comment your thoughts on the method so that we can actually continue. Okay? Simplifying indices is very, very easy. Okay? So let's look at the next one. The next question on our list here is that 27 power 2x is equals to is equals to is equals to 3 over 3 to the power of x minus 1 over 9. Okay, let's provide the solution to this initial problem. It is very, very easy. First thing you see is that all these terms are in base, can be simply be converted in base 3. So what do we do? 27 can be converted to base 3, which is 3 times 3. You know 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is now 27, right? So instead of writing 27, I'll replace it with 3 cubed because they multiply themselves 3 times. So you have it that 3 cubed into 2x is equal to, look at this one is still already 3 power x minus 1 divided by 9 can be seen as 3 times 3, which is 3 squared. Okay, so what do we have? We have it as 2 times 3 is 6x is equals to, you can now see that this is 2, so once we are dividing, we subtract the powers. So what do we have? 3 power x minus 1, then minus 2 because of this power. Okay, so we have 3 power 6x is equal to 3 power 6x is equals to 3 power x minus 3. Understand one thing, whenever you are actually observe that the basis of the terms of the initial terms are the same, all you simply have to do is to equate their powers. So the base is 3, the base here is 3, and the base here is 3. So let's equate the powers. So we have 6x is equal to, what do we have here? X minus 3. So since we understand that these two are now the same, so what we have to do is that we are going to do what? Subtract x from both sides. Thus, 6x minus x is equals to minus 3. Okay? So let me know 6x minus x is what? Let's know that in the comments. 6x minus x is what? Is 5x. You have it as 5x, and that's minus 3. Okay? And 5x is equals to minus 3. For you to get the value of x, you just have to divide by 5 and divide by 5. Once you divide through by 5, you see that x is equals to minus 3 over 5. And that's the what? Answer. Okay? Please give the video a like. Let us know where you're watching from. Okay? So since we have this is actually the answer we got. Let's take a good look at another problem. Let's look at another problem together. So let's look at 8 power 2x minus 1 is equal to 1 over 512. Okay? Here we are trying to find the value of the x that can satisfy the whole equation. So in this place, since we have 8, can you tell me 2 power what is 8? What is 2 to the power of what is 8? 2 power what is 8? 2 power 3. So you have it as 2 power 3, already existing power, 2x minus 1. And this is equals to, you can now write this. Remember we say in the laws of exponents that whenever we have a to the power of minus n is equals to 1 over a to the power of n. So if you agree with this law of exponents, we can now write 1 over 512 to be in the same base. That will be 512 power minus 1. Okay? understand that 512 can be actually be expressed in base of 2. The reason behind that, it can be expressed in base of 2. And that's 2 times 2, 4, times 2, 8, times 2, 16, times 2, 32, times 2, 32 times 2, 64, 64 times 2 is 64 times 2 is 128. 128 times 2 is 256. 256 times 2 is 512. Okay? And that's exactly, and 512 is what? 512 is 2 power 9. So we have it as 2 to the power of 3, or basically we can use 8. 8 to the power of 2x minus 1 is equals to 8 times 8 times 8 is 512. So we have 8 power minus 3. The bases are equal. We have it that 2x minus 1 is equals to minus 3. Okay? So if you have this, let us know where you're watching from, please. If you have this, for you to get the value of actual x, what do? You just have to do that. 2x will now be what? 2x will now be equals to minus 3 plus 1. Because minus 1 crosses equality sign, it becomes positive. And if that's the case, 2x is equals to minus 2. To get x, divide by 2, divide by 2. If you divide by 2, x is equals to minus 1. Okay? So this is the value for x. This is the value for x. Okay? So the next thing we do is to look at the next question, the last question for the day. Okay, so we are trying to do 5 power 2x minus 4. The minus 4 is the power, is equals to 1. So to do this, remember I told you that x raised to the power 0 is 1 from the laws of indices. If you agree with this, since we have x power 0 is 1, that means we can write that 5 power 2x minus 4 is equals to 5 power 0, because anything raised to the power 0 is 1. So you can now see that since the bases are now the same, you have it that 5 2x minus 4 is equals to 5 power 0. Now we can equate the powers since the bases are equal. That's 2x minus 4 is equals to 0. Okay? To get the value of x, what do? All we have to do, please like the video, let us know where you're watching from, please. All you have to do here is just to do what? 2x, you add 4 to both sides, is equal to 4. Okay? So if you get 4, to get value of x, you divide by 2, divide by 2. When you divide the left and right hand side by 2, what do you observe? Your x is equals to 4 divided by 2 is what? Let's know that in the comments. 4 divided by 2 is what? What is 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is what? What is 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that's the value for x. Thank you. Bye-bye.